The next thing we're going to do is put our shapes and forms in our boxes. So this first box in the top left is going to be a square. This whole row, right, rows go across, this whole row will be shapes. Got a square, a triangle. If you have stencils that you can use or something to trace, feel free to use that. Okay, I've got a square, triangle, and a circle. First row is shapes. The rest of these are going to be forms. So I know we haven't really talked about linear perspective or how to draw things three-dimensionally. I'm going to have you draw a box, and then you're going to have 3 little lines that come off of it, and then you're going to connect those lines. And that makes your square look like a cube. I'm going to do that in each box. And make sure they're substantial enough. They're not teeny tiny. But you don't want them too big to fill up the whole thing where you can't get those other sides. So next we're going to do triangles. When a triangle becomes three-dimensional, it can either be a pyramid or a cone. So we're going to do some of each. I'm going to draw a triangle first. Then from this top line, I'm going to draw another one out like that. And we're going to connect those. So now I have a pyramid. This next one is going to be a cone. I'm going to draw the top 2 lines. And the bottom is going to be rounded. I'm going to draw another pyramid down here. Okay, and now I'm going to draw, right, the 3-dimensional version of a circle is a sphere. But in order to look for these circles to look like spheres, we have to add value. When you add value, I'm going to do the spheres for you and you can figure out the rest, but I'm going to designate a little light source up here in the corner. I'm drawing a little sun so that I can say this is where my light is coming from. If this is the light coming this way, the opposite side of my light source is going to be the darkest. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to shade, and this whole row, this top row, is going to be modeling or blended shading. This next row is going to be hatching, and then this bottom row is going to be stippling. So I'm going to do a little bit, and then I'll pause it and finish a little more, and you can continue to see how I work. So here's what your page will look like as you, and this is a different page obviously because mine's not done in Sharpie. This is more of what yours will look like in pencil. But again, this top row is graded shading, graded or blended or modeling. There's a few different names for it. But this is my darkest side away from my light source. If I'm hatching, how to make something look darker is to make my lines go closer together, my parallel lines. And it's really important that when you put parallel lines in on a rounded form, your lines go with the form. So this is what I'm not going to do. Here's my circle. If I'm shading this, my lines aren't going to go horizontally. They're going to be rounded with the form. Okay, and then the closer they are together down here, it's going to look darker. The farther apart they are up here, it's going to appear lighter. When it comes time for your stippling, I'm going to let you use your thin Sharpie. But one thing I really want to stress is that you put something underneath your sketchbook so that it doesn't bleed through. I'm going to just I have some folder right here. I'm going to put that underneath this page so that my Sharpie doesn't bleed through to the next page. The stippling is very similar to the hatching in the sense that the more dots and the closer they are, the darker your value is going to appear. It's going to be lighter up here where the light source is, and then darker away from the light source.